So this movie, because I watched the movie.
Okay.
This is not your typical Star Trek. Like, Star Trek is usually told from the perspective of the Starfleet. So what was it about this from this perspective that was intriguing to everyone involved? And who did you guys make the movie for? Because it is not typical Star Trek.
Yeah, it's not typical Star Trek. And there's, a lot of people are upset that we're even making this film.
Why?
Because Roddenberry promised us something different. Roddenberry promised us that we were past the need for this. That we lived in this society where we had evolved past racism, past these kind of conflicts, we don't live in a capitalist society in the future. There's no currency. You have replicators. Nobody's starving. We were promised that all of these horrifying things that are happening to us today, everything that's being made to tear us apart, the assault on truth and the assault on kindness and the assault on democracy, that none of this would apply anymore, that we would be better. And so the idea that there would still be a Section 31, a nefarious Black Ops group doing nefarious Black Ops things in the name of the Federation, it appalls a lot of Star Trek fans. And I totally get that. But at the same time, like, I don't know how well you know Trek. I mean, I'm microscopic on my detail on it. I know everything. The autistic fascination from 8 years old. Sisko has this wonderful quote in DS9 where he says, "It's easy to be a saint in paradise." When everything is taken care of you and you're completely safe, and you don't have to worry about being murdered for your ethnicity, your gender, your sexuality, or any of those things. Yeah, you don't have to worry. You can live as well as you can in that Federation. You don't have to worry about the Tal Shiar or the Obsidian Order or the Founders or the Dominion, who don't have our moral relativism, but do share different ideas of what's right. And if you want to protect the rights of people to live safely, to live securely, to love whoever they want to love, to not be subject to a nationalist empire like the Terran Empire, which is human-centric, then you have to have people that know how to fight to protect that might themselves have to go into dark areas to make sure that you never see them. And I find the idea of Section 31, which shouldn't be a single block, but Section 31 is the idea of, nobody joined the CIA because they wanted to do bad things, even though the CIA has been responsible for so many bad things in the history of the world. You join because you want to do good for the world. You want to keep the world safe. Sometimes you go off on an errant path. I think that Section 31 can encompass all of those elements. And when it becomes really interesting is when it's not just about keeping the boundaries of the Federation safe, but overstepping in a, national surveillance, NSA kind of way that we're also afraid of, this Orwellian idea of our government imposing upon our rights when we don't even know it. I think Section 31 broadens the ideas of what the Federation can be. I think it makes Star Trek so much more accessible and so much more interesting. And as somebody who has always struggled in life just with living, the idea that it's never too late to start a new life, you can be redeemed and you can help people and save people. I find Section 31 to be the core of what Starfleet and the Federation is about, not the antithesis in any way.
It sort of shows the underbelly and the sort of like the nasty side of Star Trek.
Yeah.
I personally agree with you. I don't like black and white. I like gray. And I find the story so interesting. I find it so interesting that these people exist in the same world that Roddenberry created. Like, not look at them separately, but look at them as like they exist in these worlds. Like I like that. I like that it does go against, because I don't know, that perfect world where, like you said, everybody can be great on a good day.
Yeah.
That's not real.
What if you're autistic? But what if you're autistic? What if you're ADHD? What if you do have these things? Are you going to be ostracized from a perfect society? Like where is the gray? Like, even if the Federation is a wonderful place, there's still going to be people that are born different. There's going to be born strange. And there is this kind of, I love the idea of the utopian society and what we're trying to reach for and all of these kind of things, but there has to be a space for everybody. There has to be a space for people that are scared and people that are cowards. And there has to be a space for people that want to do well, but they're afraid to, or people that have emotional disturbances, or people that are afraid to leave the house. Like, well, at what point do we reach where we say you don't belong in our perfect utopian society? And, you can sit there and say, well, none of those problems would exist. But then I don't feel represented in the Federation.
Right.
As somebody that education wasn't for, that struggled with dealing with things, I wouldn't feel represented by that Federation. I want to see somebody in the Federation say, hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with you. You are imperfect and you are part of this world too. And that's why I love Section 31. It's for people like you and I and most 99% of the world who aren't perfect people.